we knew this was going to happen for a good month or so. So we dieted, we talked about what we were going to wear, big. I mean, this is really going to be big stuff. Now, other than that, we find out it's in black and white. But we're going to be on television. So I hit a good drive, it went on the green, and I got to walk across a bridge and around the green. So, you know, you gotta... you go across the bridge and you walk around and make sure the camera sees you. And then you walk over to mark your ball. You mark the ball and you walk off the green. And you stand waiting for your opponent who's kind of walking back and forth. And I'm thinking, what, come on, put your ball down. So I'm looking around. I look down at my putter and my marker is stuck on the ball. Now when we teed off, they gave us little bingo markers. They were plastic. They don't have those stickers. And it's stuck on my putter. Now what am I going to do? So I casually walk back on the green. I put my ball down and I putt. So again, I walk off the green. And my partner says, geez, I hope I didn't step on your line. I said, no problem. It's right here on the end of my putter. So I arrive at the golf course, and here are three men that I'm going to play with. One is the champion of the Royal Air Force, and one was a gentleman who beat Bing Crosby in the British Amateur, and some other gentleman. I thought, well, first of all, I was going to play by myself. So my manager was with me, and it was very cold, and she said, I'm going to go to town and try to buy some insulated underwear, because we're going to be over here, and it's going to be cold. So I started to play, and as we played, on each hole, we'd get more people, more people, more people, and we come to the road hole, and then we get to 18, tee, and she comes back, and she says, no, I couldn't get anything. I couldn't get any, all the stores are closed. It says, American Lady Pro at Links.
Oh, no.
And when we finished, the captain, who is in this country is the general manager of the club, invited me into the Royal and Ancient
Unheard of. Wow.
clubhouse and meeting room where they make the decisions of golf. Would you like to come in? Yes, certainly. So when Babe won the amateur, she stood on the steps. She never was invited in there.
Oh, wow.
So I was the first.
Awesome.
But they were amazed that I could take a wedge and hit it up in the air and make it stop, because over there they want to keep everything low. So they're sitting around this board table, and the board table was about from here to the end of that table. And there were people sitting around the side. And the man from the London Times is there, someone else, and they asked me a question, and the captain, and he said, would you show us how you hit this wedge? He said, get up on the table. Well, I get up on the table and start swinging this club, thinking I'm going to hit the ceiling or something, and showing them how we, you know, stood open and flexed the wrist and all that stuff. So that to me was really exciting, and oh, would you like to see the men's locker room? Oh, certainly. So we go down the hall, and right on the main floor, with the windows looking out at the 18th green and the first tee, is what we would call a smoker room. They've got overstuffed chairs, and the little party men are sitting there drinking sherry, looking out the window to see who's on their golf course. And all around the room are lockers, and the glass plates on them about that long. And when somebody dies, that plate's removed, and the next person in line gets a locker. So as I go in there, these two men are sitting there, and they look up and see me, and I think they almost had a heart attack. Yeah. Absolute heart attack, because I was in their domain. Yeah. So I've been in the men's locker room and the boardroom. That's
Shirley, I think that's about it. I don't think they get any better than you. No. And guess what? For our appreciation.
Oh, thank you.
A little something from the club. You gotta tell them the dress, too. You gotta tell them about the one dress.
About the dress.
You gotta tell the dress.
When we were at the
You
women's
guys have the one
reunion,
dress that used
they
this.
were talking
Oh,
about
yeah.
how they...
You gotta hear this one story.
How the women made it back then.
In the, probably in the 60s, yeah, probably in the start of the 60s, we would have enough gathering and have a cocktail party. Instead of just a pro-am get-together afterwards. And some of the people wanted to go, some didn't want to go. And a couple of the girls had one dress, and they took turns whose week it was to wear the dress. So a lot of us didn't have a formal wear to
do the cocktail
entertain,
parties.
right, do the country club thing. And then it got to the point nobody wanted to go to the cocktail parties, and then they had to fine them if they didn't come to the cocktail parties. You probably went
yeah,
through
we
that.
did too. Yeah.
Golf is, I just feel that I hope to see more senior golfers. I hope to see more emphasis put on helping seniors stay in the game. Mm-hmm. And I hope to see 6 holes played or 12 holes played so that more people are involved. A lot of people today in our fast life don't have time to spend on 18 holes. But as a family or a group, you can zip out and play 9 holes, or zip out and play 6 holes and go do your other chores. So I think it's up to us in the profession to try to get more involvement with less time, because that's our life. We have to do more things in less time. A lot of you, not a lot of you, but I'd say at least 10% of you in here kind of grew up like I did, in that there were no sports for women.
Yeah, I agree.
We were an oddity. You're a real oddity if you played golf. And I went to college in the snow, the drifting snow. I'm carrying my golf bag over to the gym to hit balls into a tumbling net against a wall in the wrestling room. People are thinking I'm crazy. What are you doing that for? I said, well, I'm trying to keep active in my game. Michigan is not the place to grow up in to be a golfer, for sure. But you make the most of it and you enjoy it, and try to help someone who maybe, maybe they don't want to try. They're afraid they'd be embarrassing, And take that individual and say, come on, let's go out and just chip or putt with me. I've taught a lot of golf schools. I've had a lady who was 85 come to the school, and I said, why are you here? And she said, I just want to go and chip and putt and have lunch with my friends. I said, well, you ride to the 50 yards in the green and chip it up and put it in the hole, and that made her life. That made her live 5 more years. She could be with her friends and do her thing. So